So anyway, guys, so I have to fill my time in some way. I have to make sure that I'm living according to plan. So now, since I quit smoking and caffeine, it's been a few moments since I've done so. I understand now is different for me. I'm understanding now I have to do my quotes. I have to help myself to explain some things. But what's new in my day now? I see, just I've been experiencing this woman singing, for example. She's a Serbian singer, and I've been listening to her, for example, and I'm just experiencing that. But what else can I do now for myself to grow? I mean, I have to fill in the words, I have to fill in the time now. I have to do something to succeed. I mean, I have to just grow myself, and that's it. So it's much more how I understand that I feel that I have to better myself. I have to understand that there's a better way all the time. So it's much more how I communicate to myself on a daily basis. That's all the difference in the world. So if I can do anything in life is I can understand that if I can do anything in life, I understand it is to just grow. I mean, just to be able to understand much more about life itself. I realize there's nowhere to go. I have to drink my medication. I have to drink my medication because I'm on medication for schizophrenia. And now you have to understand I'm not sick or anything like that. But the doctor says that I'm sick. So I'm taking responsibility for myself to grow. I understand life deals you lemons and you have to make lemonade. You understand? You have to do something for yourself to succeed. Because that's the only way that you can grow and outgrow yourself. So for myself over here, I'm understanding that I'm living in some kind of way and fashion. I'm living to some extent. I'm learning to produce content for myself to grow, and I have to learn something about life. So it's much more how I need to talk words, but I understand I've done more than enough quotes for now. I'm understanding that it's much more how there's always much more work to do in terms of quotes. I sat down for about 4 hours. I understand since I woke up at 5:30 in the afternoon, and then I had my coffee, had some cigarettes, and got started on my work. I realized my dad left around 7:30. I've been doing my quotes ever since. I mean, it's been 5 hours since I've been doing my quotes, for example. So I understand quote book 9 is coming up online now. And I just have to keep it up. I just have to keep going with what I'm doing, and I have to pursue my career. I have to pursue something in my dreams to do better for myself. And that's the story of my life, isn't it? I see it's much more how I feel dissatisfied to some extent because I'm not living to the potential that I can, but I am living to some kind of potential. But the thing is that I just want to express myself. I just want to express all that anger and frustration that I have. But I have no anger. I have no anger in me. It's just that I want to reach out for more. I want to reach out for more in terms of life. I realize now to do my Instagram or something like that, I realize it's more how I have to do some Netflix, for example. I have to do some Netflix. I realize it's getting late now. I realize my dad's going to go sleep very soon. I realize it's much more how I'm going to be alone. I mean, yes, now I have to be alone with myself. I have to fill in the time and space and with the words and everything like that. So it's much more how I need to grow anyway. So it's much more how I just grow. I do my nice and beautiful fashion and life this way. And I just grow. I just make sure I do something for myself. So it's much more how I need to just help myself in some kind of way. But what kind of way can I help myself with? I understand there's always a way. Of course, you have to always figure out a way for yourself. I mean, do I feel like doing Netflix? I promise you, it's much more how I don't feel like doing Netflix at the moment. And what do I feel like doing? I promise you, I feel like doing just words, just expressing my mindset. You understand? I feel like expressing myself. I feel like documenting my thoughts down. I understand this is like my journal time. This is like, for example, me writing in my journal, just random thoughts, random things, getting preoccupied with thoughts in terms of life, being preoccupied with words, describing things. And you have to understand to always go the better way. So, for example, you practice things, you practice your life, you practice something that can help you move forward. I'm understanding there's plenty of uploading to do every single day. I'm uploading something online But then the day slows down. I mean, why does it slow down? Because of the words I speak, for example. I understand if I don't speak words, if I'm not speaking words, I'm doing nothing. I'd rather speak words than do nothing. You understand? Because there's always a way to talk. I mean, there's always a way to do something. But that's how it is. And you always have to do something regarding your life, helping yourself to prosper, helping yourself to become the best version of yourself. That's the only thing you can do on any given basis, or in any day. You can just be the best version every single day. Just learn to stay away from most of life. And if you're doing your best version, I'm pretty sure that's more than enough. Yes, then. I'm pretty sure that's all you have to do every single day. Just become much better for yourself. Learn, get away from cigarettes, get away from the drugs out there. Make sure that you're helping yourself grow. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. And you have to fill the time and space with words. You have to interest yourself somehow. You have to understand it's much more about doing something in the process of life, helping yourself to grow, becoming something more, saying all the words that you can speak out as much as possible to succumb to something better for yourself. Understanding how life is going to shape you and what life is going to bring to the table and how you're going to live life is all different. So what's happening in my life now, apparently now I'm about to go overseas very soon, about to be reunited with my mother for the first time in 5 years. So it's very different for me. Apparently it's much more how it's going to be different over there. I'll go to Serbia, I'll go see my family there as well, do some content along the way, help myself like that. And it's going to be like a working holiday for me. So I'm always working, I'm always doing something to work. I have to be working all the time. I see if I wasn't doing anything in terms of words now, I see what would I be doing. I see it's much more how I just either watch someone succeed at some level or watch other people grow, watch other people do something, and I understand that's it. I can do my quotes, I can do some audio programs, I can do some Netflix, or just watch the guy from the music production scenario and just understand to watch that guy while my dad's watching TV. I'm watching the scenario of that guy producing music. And that's all I can do at the moment, I promise you. It's much more. I can do a video, but the thing is that I'm doing an audio program, so it's much more different for me. I'm understanding audio programs give you a lot of leverage to speak out your thoughts into the planet, and then you succeed. And I have to keep uploading, I have to keep uploading all the time, uploading as much information as possible out there into the planet so that I can succeed. And nothing else. I'm probably then get back to quotes, start doing more quotes and stuff like that. And it's like a long process. You understand? It's a long process to get out all the information as much as possible. Sit down, work, 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 work. I've been working for 5 hours ever since I woke up. I've been working. You understand? So it's much more how my work happens at any time, and I can work at any time. But then I understand that when you leave room for nothing, that's when you sleep. For example, you understand nothing is sleep. So make sure you understand that you have to always do something to succeed. It's either you're eating, drinking, pissing, shitting, doing your work, doing words, doing something to help your life, understanding how to talk. I mean, talking out a better life for yourself, doing something to have a conversation with yourself, for example. That's what you can do. And if I don't document my thoughts down, then it doesn't exist anymore. Do you understand? Apparently, I want to document everything down as much as possible, live my life to the best degree that I can. That's all I want to do. And that's where I'm going right now. I'm going that road of success. I mean, that's what I need to do. And right now, I don't feel like smoking cigarettes. I don't feel like drinking caffeine. I feel like drinking water. I can drink some water. The thing is that I have enough water fluid in my body at the moment. And as soon as you have a dry mouth, make sure you just rinse it out with water. And that way you are someone who drinks water to get hydrated. And there's no such thing as I understand that. And that's the first time I said that in quite a while. So it's much more how you have to always speak. You have to always help yourself in some kind of way moving forward. You have to do the same thing differently all the time. You have to understand there's always a way to move forward, to describe life, to understand. But what are they doing? I mean, let's see what other people are doing. For example, see other people creating words in the documenting themselves. See other people are either documenting themselves or not documenting themselves. I see the people who are not documenting themselves are losing in life. I see much more of the people who are in prison, for example, are lost and oblivious to what's going on in the world. Apparently, it's much more how they are losers of life. Unfortunately, they're not losers, but the thing is that they are much more of a loser than other people, for example, the ones in prison. I mean, you understand? And you have to understand that it's much more that nobody's a loser in life and everyone's a winner because we have Jesus Christ. But the thing is that other people have lost more in life than gained. And you always have to find your strength. You have to find your key skills in terms of what you're good at. So what I can do is I can read a book. I can read some books. I can read something. I can do something like that. In terms of information, reading silence, something, probably go on an article online, read some quotes or something like that, stimulate my mindset, stimulate my thoughts, help myself to grow some kind of way. Boost my imagination with Netflix, I can do that. Sit down, relax, talk with myself. I mean, you have to understand that I feel that I'm in pain. I feel that I'm in suffering at the moment. So what I do is I just talk words anyway. And why do I feel like I'm in pain or suffering? It's just the way my life is. My life is nothing special. I mean, you have to understand that. And at the same time, my life is special to some degree. I mean, you understand? But the thing is that it's much more how I'm craving something. I'm craving more. I'm craving something from my life. I feel, is this it? I mean, is this where my life ends? I mean, is this where it is in terms of life? Is this what I've come to? You understand? I mean, that's what some questions in my mind are happening in terms of happening in my life. I mean, is this where it's come to? I mean, you understand? I mean, what's so bad about this moment? Apparently, it's nothing. Apparently, it's more, there's nothing bad about it. Apparently, it's much more how I have to grow from it. You understand? I have to grow from this moment. I have to make this moment my teacher. I have to understand that's what I'm learning. Yes, and that's the thing. It's like I'm suffering, but I'm not suffering. You understand? It's like I want to do better. I want to do better. I just want to do better, and that's nothing else. So I've learned something in this audio program that the reason I feel this way is because of this moment. You understand? I feel like I have nothing to do, for example, but I'm doing something at the same time. I mean, it's like I'm a nobody, but at the same time I'm a somebody. You understand? It's like I want more, but I'm not getting more. You understand? It's like I'm getting more while I speak more words, and I'm getting more overall. But it's like I want my life to fashion up a bit. I want my life to have more interest. I want my life to have much more pleasant peace and quiet. I understand I have quiet and peace. But I want my life to have more than this. I want to have more than this. In a sense, so what do I need? I mean, I need more imagination. I need more freedom. I need more space. I need more space. I need to just talk it out. That's what I need. You understand? And that's what I've learned in this Nice and Beautiful audio program. To just speak words. I mean, try to put emphasis upon this moment in terms of words. And that way you create value. And that's how you actually go by time, for example. And time goes quick. You have to understand, it's already been 14 minutes since I did this audio program. And you must understand that it's more I want to explain this moment. I want to give you all of the key necessary skills that I can before I go. You understand? Before I leave this planet. You understand? And that's my higher purpose. And it's like it's boring. I mean, it's right now. Like, for example, it's boring in my household right here. It's very boring. But the thing is that my words are keeping me occupied. Do you understand? My words are keeping me occupied. I'm digging in for answers. I'm digging in for things in my life. I'm digging in to my depth of my soul to give you something about life, to give you something of ideas so you can grow from, so you can understand. So that's something that's pleasant, you understand? So that's something that's happiness for me. in life. So I'm creating my own happiness through my words while doing what I need to do. You understand? But at the same time, I feel that I have to express this moment, and that's what I've learned in this audio program. That anytime I feel bored or anytime I have nothing to do, that's when the best time is for me to do an audio program and for me to just explain how bored I am. I mean, that's all I want to say. I'm so bored. I'm so bored in life. You have to understand how bored I am. I just want someone to talk to. You understand? I just want to talk and nothing else. I want to talk it out with myself. I have myself here. You understand? Nothing else. I promise you. Just I want to explain this moment. I want to describe this moment as much as I can. You understand? And that's what makes me much more successful. That's what makes me bring happiness into the world through ideas and through words, through information. You understand? So I can find myself in a room all day talking words, and I can take myself through miles and miles of imagination. And that's the amazing thing. I mean, that you can document your thoughts. I mean, if I was born in the 1980s or something like that, before the phones came out, I mean, what would I do? I mean, without phones, I mean, you have to understand, it's like sitting in a room just talking to yourself without documenting yourself. That's what it would look like. Or writing a book. I mean, you understand, that's the fashion back then. I mean, writing a book, you understand? As much as possible, expressing yourself through pen to paper. You understand? That's how you would explain yourself. You understand? And then you get yourself a typewriter and you just write as much as possible. But that's what I'm doing now in my audio program. And when you write as much as possible, you find fulfillment in that. You understand? You find so much fulfillment in expressing yourself. You understand? That's where the information is. That's where the knowledge is. You understand? That's where the wisdom is. So I'm understanding, I'm learning from this program now. So it's much more how I just want to describe this moment. I mean, I'm in complete darkness. I mean, I have a heater on. I have a heater on over here, and it's breathing out some light from the heater. Whereas my phone over there needs to charge up. I mean, has to charge up, and I have to upload my content online. So I'm just going to pause this audio program to do that. See, guys. So that's what it is. I mean, when I find myself alone and lonely, or when I find myself in emptiness, or when I find myself in anger or sadness, that's when the best time is for me to speak words. In a sense, so I fill my life with words. And that's something like powerful. I mean, you have to understand that's very powerful to explain it that way, to show you that when you have emptiness or sadness or when you have anger, just talk into an audio program. Yes, or talk into a video program, or write your thoughts down, or journal everything down as much as possible. Do you understand? But I find that my audio programs are much more different than my journaling type of things. And why is that? Because in audio programs, I'm much more likely to teach you something than in my journal, for example. And why is that? I understand because I understand it's something that I start the sentence with I see inside of my journal all the time. It's more like I base my life in my journal in a different way. And there's a time and place for that. But it's more how I'd rather just teach you in audio programs this way than writing in my journal. You understand? And that's different. I mean, this is my journal time. This is my writing time. This is something to document my thoughts and nothing else. You understand? And nothing else do I want to do. I mean, something I have to fulfill myself. I have to fulfill myself here. I mean, the only way I can fulfill myself is to better my habits and to just talk words. That's the only thing I can do at the moment. And that's the newest way of life. To be able to document your thoughts down and better your habits and just talk. Because imagine back in the days when they were not even writing books. You have to understand there was always a pen and paper. You understand? And that pen and paper came with Jesus Christ Bible. I mean, you understand? It started with pen and paper. And imagine how many people had to transcribe Jesus Christ Bible to make it understood in today's world. You understand? So it's much more how the Bible over time is always getting transcribed into easier English for everyone to understand. You understand? And that's amazing how people have kept the Bible, you understand, through faith and through hope and stuff like that. But girlfriends, I promise you I have no girlfriend at the moment. And I don't need a girlfriend at the moment, to be honest, because she's not in my life. So as long as she's not in my life, I promise you I don't need her. understand? But when she wants to be with me, I promise you, then we can be together. You understand? That's different. But there's always something to talk about. You have to understand. You just have to always improve your communicational skills anyway. So I understand it's much more about documenting your thoughts. But I see anyway. Like for example, do I have emptiness in my life now? I promise you no, because I see my emptiness is my words. You understand? And like the more empty I feel, the more words I speak, and the more love I vibrate into the universe. You understand? And that's growth. I mean, that's real growth. You understand? So what growth is just speaking much more words. You understand? The more words you speak, the more you grow, and that's how you build something for yourself. You build, you build this massive amount of wisdom every single day that you can look upon, and you can put yourself in a wheelchair or anything like that, and you can understand what people in a wheelchair can do. For example, I mean, you must understand they can speak words, and that's powerful. And they don't understand how powerful words are. Apparently, there's this guy Denis Todorovic, and he's paralyzed from the neck down, and he doesn't understand that you can speak words into an audio program. You know, so he doesn't understand that. And he doesn't understand the amount of ideas you can give people. And you can just see by this audio program how much I've given you in terms of ideas. You understand? But the thing is that you have to understand to solve problems on your own. And now for real estate, you have to understand for real estate is something different. Honestly, it's all, everyone has to go that road alone. Honestly, everyone has to go alone throughout life. And that's how you actually speak it. And while you speak it, you do it as you're talking. You understand? And as you're talking, you'll find ways to grow. So what I want to do is I want to make music again, and this time I want to make sure that I can just express myself with words while I do music production. But this audio program is going to be different, and this audio program is just going to be more about me expressing myself in terms of tones and everything, but it's going to be more in my music production degree. You know, it's more going to be my music in terms of my music production playlist in YouTube, and that's going to be different. So the way I record myself is just talk about life as well. I talk about life while I record things, and then I just upload it to YouTube and relax, and it will work out. But that's something I can do, and that fulfills me. You understand? But what fulfills me is doing something. But if you're doing nothing, guys, if you're doing nothing all day, honestly, that's the most boring thing you can do. I promise you. If you're not speaking words much more daily, I promise you it's the most boring thing you can do. You understand? But the thing is, you have to understand that there's a time for reading, and there's a time for transcribing your thoughts and uploading material and all that stuff, and that's all the good stuff. Do you understand? But the thing is that you have to talk words, because if you don't talk words, I promise you don't grow. You have to grow through your perspective. You have to understand. You have to give as much as possible, and then you become aware about what you teach and what you learn. So the reason my friends are not living the life that I am is because they're unaware. I mean, they're unaware of how happy I am. I'm really happy. You have to understand, I'm really happy in the words. I'm living my talk. I'm living in the best kind of regard for myself. Do you understand? And they don't understand that. You understand? But the thing is that even if I go back to cigarettes, okay, you must understand I'm still living in my words. I'm still living in my words as much as possible. You understand? And that's the thing. I'm always understanding that if I go backwards and forwards in my life, I'm understanding that the words the words that I speak to you are going to show you the way. And it's up to you if you want to go that road or not. You understand? It's up to you. But if you go and dwell in me, I promise you, if you dwell in me, you'll find the way. You'll find the way. I promise you, if you follow me and if you follow my information, I promise you I'll lead you in a better way. I'll lead you like nobody else can. I will lead you and I'll show you the best way forward. I promise you that I can guarantee you. You understand? But those people who are not creating content are going to be losers. You understand? And they're going to be losers because you have to understand that they're losing already because they're not doing it. They're not trying to teach you. They're not trying to spread more love into the universe. You understand? And that's what I'm doing. I'm spreading a frequency out there into the planet. I understand that people are going to listen to this. I mean, people are going to be able to understand Danny Miller Voyage for generations. You understand that I have something to say, that I have something to do, and I'm going to benefit a lot of people throughout eternity. You understand? I'm going to be able to create as much content as possible for myself When I'm doing nothing, I'm going to be doing words. I mean, and that's how I'm understanding life. But I understand I always have to find something to say. I have to find interest in what I say. You understand? I have to talk so much that I even get bored of myself. You understand? Because that's how you talk. You understand? You talk in a way that you so become bored of yourself that you have to talk to grow. And you have to understand that's unconditional love. You understand? Because you're talking words. You're making sure they understand. When you talk words, you're spreading out love into the universe. And that's why I document everything. I document as much as possible. And that's what I do. I shape my life this way. I shape my life through words. And my words always lead me into a better path. Do you understand? Because I'm willing to change. I'm willing to grow. Do you understand? I'm willing to grow. And I understand that when I do something that's bad for me, for example, I understand it's not right or wrong, but I understand that I have wisdom. I have wisdom to talk more words regardless. You understand? And that's the thing that I can spread out into the universe as much as possible, is something that I don't waste time. I'm always productive with my time. And you can put me in a jail cell all your life and I can just talk all day long. I can talk all day long and I can find the most magnificent conversation with myself. And that's life. I promise you, life is just being able to talk to yourself all day long. You understand? Because when you talk to yourself all day long, I promise you, there's nothing else to do other than that. And you have to understand, you relieve boredom through talking words. You understand? And do you know how bored I am right now? I'm so bored. I mean, there's nothing to do other than words. I promise you, there's nothing else I can do except words. I promise you, words make up life. I promise you, if you are meant to be a millionaire, then you're going to speak the words of a millionaire. I promise you, that's what you have to understand. You have to lead yourself that way. You have to push yourself, and nobody's going to motivate you as much as you are. You're going to motivate yourself. You understand? Nobody's going to motivate you as much as you motivate yourself. I promise you, do you know who motivates me in life? I promise you, information. I promise you, everything motivates me. You understand? But I'm the one motivating myself the most. You understand? But you have to understand that it's either information is going to do you or you're going to do information. What do you want? Probably it's better for you to do information than for information to do you. Because life is shaping you. Probably everything's shaping you around you. And you have to understand to put boundaries in life. You have to put boundaries in life. And the more boundaries you have, the more people can never get to you. You understand? So that's what you need to do. You need to set disciplines in life. And disciplines are boundaries. Do you understand? So I'm never going to write another book in life except for I'm going to be able to write all my quote books. I'm just going to stick to quote books. So you can find all my 34,000 quotes on amazon.com.au and just write Danny Milivojevic and you'll find all my books. Or just click on my YouTube channel, go to my Instagram, click on the bio link and take yourself to amazon.com.au and you'll find all my books there. And just read all the quotes that I just gave. You understand? And also you'll find all my information on my YouTube channel and in my Instagram. That's the only place you look for my information. You can find my information on Google as well. You can Google me on Google. And you can find Danny Milivojevic on Google. You can find me on Instagram or YouTube. I mean, just search for me there. I mean, yes, and because my Facebook is dead. I'm not working on my Facebook, to be honest. I'm not working on a Facebook group. Do you understand? Because I have no time for those people. I have no time for those people. I have time for you. You understand? And that's different. And you found me on YouTube with this audio program. Do you understand? So it's more how if you're someone even much more in a different way, then you found me on Mega Drive for sure. You understand? So it's much more you found me either on YouTube or Mega Drive storage online or through Instagram. I mean, it could be possible. I don't know. But you must understand it's much more how it is. So it's much more how this audio program is going on YouTube. And either way, you found me. And that way, you have to understand that I have to talk words now. And that's the thing, approach. That's what many people are scared about. Approach. They're so scared to talk out their words. I mean, they're so afraid to talk words out. See, guys, do you know what they say? That the people who are truly happy are helping other people. You understand? So you have to understand how many people are so afraid of expressing themselves. They're so afraid of words. I mean, you understand? And they're never going to admit this. I promise you they'll never admit it because they don't understand. Okay, and they will deny it that they are afraid. Yes, and they're afraid. I promise you they're afraid. Otherwise, why aren't they doing YouTube channel? I mean, why aren't they giving much more information to the world? I mean, because they're afraid. I mean, they're saying, I promise you, that's all it is. I promise you, my mom will say that she's not afraid, but she just doesn't want to do it. I promise you, why not? I mean, why don't you want to help people? I mean, why don't you want to give so much information like I am here for you? So, for example, I'm giving you so much information, and I'm so happy because of it. And why aren't they doing it? Because they're afraid and they're unaware. You know what I'm saying? They're unaware of what words can do for people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I go and reach out for the words, because that's where my life is. My life is in the words I speak. You know what I'm saying? And now, yes, I've been stupid in my life. I've been stupid on many occasions, but I'm learning very slowly. I'm learning with the wisdom that I grow with. You know what I'm saying? My wisdom expands in all kind of ways and directions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm much more smarter than I was at 18 years of age. And do you know by how much? I promise you by thousands of millions of years. Do you know? I mean, it's like, wow. I mean, I'm much smarter than I was. And why am I much smarter? Because I do more information work. I do much more speaking. I do public speaking. I do much more words. And solely because of the words. I'm much more smarter because of the words I have in my vocabulary. You understand? And my vocabulary is what I've given to you. And it's my attitude. I mean, you have to understand that when you teaching people, you have to understand to always control your anger and control your temper. I mean, never get angry at people. You understand? Because that anyone who gets very angry or raises their tone of voice at people have an attitude problem. Do you understand? That's my mum. I realize my mum and dad have an attitude problem, and they don't understand that. Probably they'll deny it. I'm probably sure you must understand that my mum tries to limit me. My dad doesn't try to limit me at all, but he does also. I realize my dad tries to limit me through smoking cigarettes, and he's like always smoking cigarettes around me, but that's because I'm around him. You understand? And that's why he smokes cigarettes. Do you understand? He smokes cigarettes because of his choices, but when I'm around him, he's smoking cigarettes, and that's how he limits me. Do you understand? Because he's putting toxins into the air that I breathe. You understand? And he's doing it for himself as well. You understand? But the thing is that when I smoke around him, he doesn't get upset. You understand? But when my dad smokes around me, I get upset, for example. I mean, it doesn't make me upset. It just makes me like suffocate. Do you understand? And you don't want to be suffocating. You want to be getting away from those smokers out there. And you want to associate yourself with better people. You understand? So make sure you associate yourself with words only. I mean, associate yourself with nothing more except for information. You understand? Information is the only tool of life that can help you change your life. You understand? So, for example, Dr. Wayne Dyer didn't do as much work. Like, he did everything he could in the time and space that he could do it in, but he didn't understand how to make even more information. Like, for example, my mentors, they don't understand how much more work you can do, for example, in terms of life. First, you must understand how much more words you can speak out every day, how much more information you can give into the planet. I'm doing more work in the planet than Tony Robbins. You understand? I'm doing much more information work than him in life. I asked Jesus Christ, is this the case? And Jesus Christ says not. Jesus Christ says not. I'm pretty sure what does that mean? Jesus Christ says no. It's much more how over the period of my life, that if I live up to 100 years of age, I'm pretty sure that Jesus Christ says yes. At this point, you're always going to be doing much more work. You understand? Because I'm understanding that I'm always doing work every single day. I'm always asking Jesus Christ everything. I'm pretty sure I ask him everything. I'm pretty sure God's always here for you, and God's always answering for you if you question him and if you understand to ask him and ask God as much as possible everything in terms of questions, and you always get the answer. You understand? So I ask Jesus Christ, what do I need now? Probably Jesus Christ is going to say, all you need to do is just speak words. You understand? That's it. Yeah, I promise you, I'm so bored. I mean, I'm so bored of life. You understand? I'm so bored of life that I have to express that. You understand? But the thing is that I'm still growing. I mean, you understand? Boredom is just one part of life. But the thing is that you have to understand that I'm not bored as well. I'm not bored even though I'm speaking words. And I'm still bored even though I'm speaking words. I mean, boredom is like things that you are doing that is nothing. You understand? But the thing is that I'm doing something. And I'm leading myself on a journey. You understand? I'm leading myself on a journey of words. And that's where I need to be. I need to be in a better direction all the time. I need to find more skills. And the more you dig deep into yourself, the more you'll find things to be grateful for. I mean, the more you find things to be grateful for. But that's how life is. Life is different, and it's not hard work to upload content, for example. It takes time and dedication, you understand? But the thing is that if you express yourself more enough, I promise you people are going to start understanding you. And somebody in the universe may see your YouTube channel and may give you an interview somehow or something like that, and then promote you even more because of the words that you speak, because of the person you are. You understand? But the people that find my information will always see the way. The promise you, all I offer you is information. And now it's your ability in terms of if you want to learn that information or not. Actually, it's up to you. I mean, it's totally your choice. You understand? But the thing is that you have to learn, you have to grow, and you have to understand that there's nothing better to do out there than speak words. I promise you, speaking words is the best thing in life. I promise you, all God does every single day is speak words. I promise you, nothing else. Just speak words every single day. We can communicate as much as possible. You understand? And then you have to understand, and then you'll have the best conversation with yourself. Because everything is you. You understand? And then that's how you understand life. I mean, you have to understand that wisdom comes from the words you speak. You understand? It's the words you speak. And what you speak is what comes true for you in life. So where am I going? I mean, am I ever going to have, am I ever going to have $1 million in my bank account? I promise you, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. You understand? The thing is that I'm pushing myself there. I'm pushing myself to become a millionaire. You understand? I'm pushing myself with the words. You understand? I want to be a millionaire. I want to have $1 million in my bank account. You understand? I want to be living my dreams. You understand? But the thing is that if I'm gonna get there or not, I don't know. I promise you. The thing is that I'm more likely to get there. Understand? There's always much more wisdom to understand. So I'm understanding. I'm willing to learn how to do that. You understand? And that's the thing. I promise you. Eventually, I build up all this confidence, and I just go and do it. And it's gonna be very easy to do it. You understand? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's the interesting thing about life. You have to anticipate that you're going to be a millionaire. You have to expect it in your life. You understand? And then you have to do it. You understand? You have to do, you have to do what you expect about. You understand? So if you expect a woman to come up to you, you have to do that. You have to understand you already have it in your life. You have to believe it. You have to believe it to come true in your life. So you have to believe that you have $1 million in your bank account right now to understand that you do. You understand? And everybody has $1 million or $1 billion in their bank account. And you have to act and speak that way every single day. And then you'll achieve it. You understand? So information will take you a long road, but you have to understand that if you teach much more, you'll find it. You'll find the way. You understand? And I promise you, if you teach so much and $1 million is not in your bank account, you can kill me right now. I mean, I promise you. I promise you, everyone's going to achieve $1 million the more they teach about life. I promise you, because you'll find it when you'll find it in yourself to do it. I promise you, there's always a way when you're teaching. Teaching is a way of life. I promise you, Jesus Christ taught you everything that he could. You understand? He could have taught a lot more. I promise you, he could have taught a lot more. But with what he had back then, I promise you, he taught you the most he could about his life. And that's why Jesus Christ is so celebrated today, because of his life. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's magnificent. I mean, you understand? So you have to understand there's always a way. So nothing to speak about, but speak about more. Speak about more anyway. You have to do a lot of work in the planet. You understand? I'm so passionate. I promise you, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to have this passion in my life. I found meaning. Do you understand? I found meaning in my life. I found a way to live. I found ways to live in life. You know, I mean, do you understand how beautiful that is? I mean, that's so beautiful. To be able to express myself to people who don't want to talk to me in terms of life. You understand? I mean, it's much more how I'm expressing myself to people who are just listening. And that's the best thing. You understand? That's the best medicine. I promise you, the best medicine is just express yourself to people who can never reply to you. So you can never reply to me. Do you understand? You can never reply to me because I'll be way gone from this life before you do. But you can speak out. You can speak out into the air about what you believe about me, and I'll hear you. I mean, I'm in the silence. I'm in the gaps. I mean, you understand? And I'll thank you for that too in heaven. Understand? So I appreciate all my followers. You understand? So it's much more how you have to understand that life is different, but I'm making the most meaning in life for my life. I'm not wasting as much time as other people. Most other people think they know it all. You understand? I know nothing about life. I know nothing. But I see how to go through life. You understand? I see much better than before. You understand? And I don't even know what I say in life. You understand? I'm just always growing. I'm just elaborating on things. And nothing's hard. Approaching nothing's hard. You just have to talk your way into it. You have to talk your way into a better way of life. Do you understand? So with music production, for example, I just need better sounds. I need better organization. I need to understand how to make a music track work. You understand? And now I can do it based on how I did it before. I can make music based on how I made it before. The thing is that you have to try new things. You understand? And now you have to go with what's better for you. You understand? And that's how you make music. So with music production, it's more about planning. Plan 24/7. Watch people how they make music. Do you understand? But what's even better than that is just producing content. You understand? Just produce content and just do your own thing. And you'll get there. You understand? You learn on your own. You understand? So I'm understanding that if you read much more from people, they'll teach you what you need to do and how you need to do it. You understand? And everyone does it differently. You understand? So it's much more how it is. So it's much more how I motivate myself through words to do whatever I need to do. You understand? So it's much more I'm sitting down on a chair right now. I'm heating myself up, and I'm bored. I'm bored about life. Do you guys understand how good it feels to understand do you understand how good it feels to just say I'm bored? I mean, it just feels good to just say I'm bored, for fuck's sake. I'm just so fucking bored. I have fucking nothing else to do. I have nothing to do except speak words. Do you understand? I promise you, that's the fucking most boring thing in the world. I promise you. I promise you, that's what God's saying too. I promise you, I have nothing else to do except speak words in the planet. I promise you, that's the best thing in life. That makes me laugh. I feel good. I mean, I'm learning some communicational skills. So, how are you, Danny? I'm really good. Guess what? I'm learning a thing. I'm learning something over here. I mean, what are you learning, Danny? I'm learning life. I'm learning something about role play over here. So, Danny, what can you teach me about role play? I promise you, role play is something magnificent because the more you speak, the better you are. I promise you, how is that possible? I promise you, it's really possible because you can always find a way. I mean, how's that possible anyway? Promise you, because you always look in the words. When you look in the words, you'll find something to say. So that's how you actually think, huh? I promise you, the way I think is always different. I mean, you always talk differently, you understand? So when you talk differently, what do? I promise you, I talk in the best way. I talk in the best way. I talk in a way that helps people. I promise you. So how is that very interesting? I promise you, the thing that's interesting about it is that when you talk more words, you always have more of a passion. I promise you, how do you have more of a passion by talking words, Danny? I promise you, it's more how you have to understand that when you are talking words, you find a way. You understand? You'll find much more things to say in life. I promise you. Now, why is that? I promise you, because when you're talking much more in terms of life, you always find that nice and beautiful passion that you need in life, which is growth. You understand? I see what you mean. I promise you, yeah. So it's much more about talking to people. I mean, you stand socialize with yourself like this, and then you'll learn something. I promise you. So how do you socialize, Danny? I promise you, you have to socialize with yourself. You have to understand to talk with yourself much more. I see. So if you're talking with yourself, I mean, how exactly do you talk with yourself? I mean, how exactly do you talk with yourself, Danny? I promise you, it's more I talk in a different way all the time. I mean, you understand, I'm always doing different things. I promise you now, Danny, do you try to make people angry? I promise you, no. I never try to make people angry. I try to make sure that no one's angry and that nobody's angry in life. I mean, yes, I'm trying to every single day get on people's good side. Do you understand? So when you try to get on people's good side, what do? I see it's much more how I never want to annoy people You know what I'm saying? So what I do is I try to give them information, but then what they do is they get angry. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, why do they get angry, Daddy? Because they're unaware. They're unaware about life. I mean, they're unaware about what they want in life. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. So why are they unaware? I promise you, because they never taught themselves this. They've never taught themselves how to talk. Do you understand? So how do you teach someone to talk anyway? So what you have to do is you have to talk it yourself. You have to live on your own and talk with yourself to understand how to speak to everyone else. You have to talk on your own. You have to talk with yourself. So Danny, for example, when you are talking with other people, what exactly is the interesting part of the conversation? Actually, the most interesting conversation is what is happening in the moment. You understand? I promise you that's what you have to understand about life. I promise you. So when you're talking to other people, exactly what are you trying to explain? I promise you, I'm just trying to explain a better way of life. You understand? Nothing else. I promise you. So that's the way. I mean, ha ha ha. That's the ha ha moment. You understand? So when you're actually talking in a way that you're doing something for yourself, I mean, what do you need to do? I mean, just do you. I mean, do nothing else. So is this how you teach in role play? I promise you, this is how you teach in role play as well. You just talk to yourself all day long. You understand? You make a game out of it. You understand? So Danny, when you make games of this play that we're doing over here, what's the most interesting part of the communication? Probably it's more how when you deal with yourself on a daily basis, you're always looking for better ways to talk, and that's how you communicate. I see. So it's much more about the passion that you drive out of yourself, isn't it? Actually, exactly. So you have to understand every single day that you are always much more enthusiastic in terms of what you're saying. I see. So when you're enthusiastic, what exactly are you doing to be enthusiastic? I see. It's much more. I'm just speaking words. I'm speaking as many words as possible to help as many people as possible. I promise you, that's all I'm doing. I promise you. So that's the key. I promise you. Is that a higher purpose, Danny? I promise you. Yeah. I promise you. Just make sure you always have that higher purpose in mind. I see now. How exactly is that going to be a higher purpose? I promise you, it's much more, as you can see, as I said, for example, that you need a higher purpose to live life. You understand? I promise you now, why do you need a higher purpose in life? You have to understand it's much more how you have to always detail things in terms of different ways to understand what your purpose is. You understand? So when you detail things in life, what exactly do you detail? I detail just words. I just detail words as much as possible. I try to be on my own. I try to talk to myself this way, so I'm learning. You know, saying, so what exactly are you learning, Danny? I'm learning how to talk to myself. You know, saying nothing else. So when you learn how to talk to yourself, what exactly do you do? I role play. I role play, or I talk to myself in communication, and just like I'm talking to someone, for example. And that's what I do on audio programs. And then I build my social skills this way. I see. So that's how you become more interesting. Actually, that's how I become much more interesting. I see. So, for example, anyway, I realized that if you really want to become much more interesting, how else would you tell people to become more interesting? Or should just do your passions. Do your passions every single day. I mean, interview yourself and just make sure you're doing a lot of role play in life because you'll learn something yourself. I see. So it's much more about asking questions, isn't it? Actually, yeah, exactly. So the more questions you ask, the better you are. So what I want to ask you guys is, how are you going to develop your life? And what are you going to do today to succeed? I see, is that helping you? I promise you, is it something that is growing you? I promise you, is it something that's really going to benefit you in the long run? I promise you, how else do you want to live your life? I mean, what else do you want to do about your life? You understand? I promise you, questions open up material. I mean, you understand? So you have to understand that it's much more about living life, isn't it, Danny? I promise you, yeah. You live life in a different way. You make sure every single day you're doing something different. And I promise you, what else can you do differently, Danny? I promise you now I can always speak in a different way. I can always speak in a different way. I can always give knowledge in a different way. I promise you now, that's the key, isn't it, Danny? I promise you exactly. I promise you the key is always what you make of it. You understand? I see, haha. So that's how you do it. I promise you that's exactly how I do it. So anyway, it's much more how you can see how interesting I am. I promise you I'm very interesting because I always talk. I talk in a different way every single day, and that's how I live my life. So when you talk in a different way, exactly how do you give out your thoughts? I promise you, I just talk. I just talk the words out of my mouth and nothing else. I see. So is there a buy method that you can use in life, like a byproduct where you talk in a certain way? I promise you, yeah, you can talk in a certain way if you want. You can use the I method, or you can use the IUQ rule, for example, and these methods are different. And what is that, Danny? Anyway, I promise you, it's more you start every sentence with I, you end it with I, or you start every sentence with you end it with you, or you start every sentence with a question and you end it with a question. I promise you, it's up to you. And then what you make out of it is something different. So anyway, it's much more how you can see exactly how, for example, when you role play, you'll learn something different about yourself as well, and you'll learn something much more. So it's much more how life is different anyway. So what I want to do anyway now, probably I just want to talk. I just want to be with myself over here and just help myself to grow. I mean, listen, probably there's nothing else to do in life. Probably it's much more how boring life is. Life is so boring. I mean, you have to understand. I promise you, there's nothing much more boring than life. Promise you, life is so boring, isn't it? But that's how I accuse myself of better. I mean, I accuse myself in a better way, and then I show myself something to do. You understand? I mean, you have to understand to develop yourself and nothing else. You have to control yourself. You have to discipline yourself, and that's how you grow. You understand? So you have to understand that you just have to admit sometimes that life is boring. You understand? Because when you admit it, you laugh. You just laugh. You just say, "Fuck, life is boring. Fucking nothing to do in life." You understand? And there's always something to do though. But you have to understand that life is boring, isn't it? Honestly, it's more how when you're just reading and you're doing nothing, apparently it's boring. I mean, it is. But the thing is that you're still doing something, you understand? But people are so bored. Apparently, lots of people are bored in this life. Apparently, they have nothing to do except sitting in front of the machine, hitting the pokies machines, or playing poker, or doing nothing. I mean, you understand? Just doing nothing. And I'm doing something. I'm recording myself. Do you understand? I'm recording myself because it's going to go out into the planet. And I'm going to document things. I'm going to document things to help myself grow. And that's it. Honestly, now what I can do is I can do some music production now and do an audio program and just talk. And just talk with myself and nothing else. And that's interesting because something in the talking that you can see in the talking of life, you can find something interesting to say. You understand? And that's how you become an interesting person. Do you understand? But many of my friends don't think I'm interesting. Do you understand? You have to understand, they don't think I'm interesting to the point that I'm interesting. You understand? And that's why I don't need them. And that's why I don't chase them. You understand? Because I don't need them in life. I don't need my friends. I don't need my family. I just need myself. You understand? But what I have today is I'm grateful for everything I have. You understand? I'm richer than others. I'm richer than other people. But I've learned something about life and I'm ready to leave this planet. I'm ready to leave the planet. But the thing is that God says just live a bit more or live a bit more. And say I'm not going to kill myself or anything, but that's the way it is. Probably if I had to leave the world today, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to. And why is that? Probably I have unfinished business to do, for example, but it's more I understand the life. I understand this life, and that's why. You understand? But finish your work anyway. Finish everything that you're doing. You understand? Put it up online. And eventually you'll go from this life and you'll go and live in peace and bliss with your words somewhere else. You understand? And that's a good thing about it, that words can transcribe everything. Words can do something amazing for yourself every single day. And many people don't find that interesting. They don't find it interesting to talk to themselves all day, do you understand? Because they have nothing to document, do you understand? They have nothing to say. And they're like robots. I mean, they're like robots doing nothing, you understand? But every single day you must understand that anyway, you have to interest yourself. You have to do something to be interesting every single day. And that's speak words as much as possible. So I'm very fucking bored right now. And I see that's the way it is. You understand? I promise you, I'm cooling down. I'm making my attitude much better. And I have to do something anyway. So it's much more I'm doing something already. So it's much more how I need to grow. I need to learn. I have to make sure that I'm producing content for myself. And that's all you can really be doing for yourself anyway. So it's much more how I can task shift. I can do something else. I can make some music and speak words, for example. I can do that for myself. And that's interesting as well. I can understand. Just do what's interesting for you. Do you understand? When you do what's interesting in life, then you always have a better life. I can call my mum, for example, and talk words there. I approach anywhere where I can speak words. That's interesting for me. Do you understand? Because I can make an interesting conversation with myself. And no woman can provide that for me. Approaching no woman can provide an interesting conversation to me. You have to understand that. Approaching now, you must understand that everything's interesting for me. You understand? But the thing is that nobody can provide the conversation that I can to myself. You understand? So I'm always learning that as well. I'm learning to become wiser. I'm understanding I'm wiser. I'm sharpening my mind. I'm looking in deep. I'm looking inside of myself for help. You understand? I have to understand that's what you need. You need that drive. You need that drive, don't you? You need to understand you need drive in your communication. Apparently, the more you communicate to the planet, the more you can understand how to help yourself. Apparently, that's what you have to understand. So anyway, I understand it's much more how I feel alright. Oh, I have to watch out. I have to watch out over here. Anyway, I feel it's much more how you see my dad, for example. I'm pretty sure he does nothing, man. I'm sure he just sits on the television set and just watches television all night. I mean, how boring, man. I mean, wow. I mean, look at that life. I mean, he does nothing in terms of words over here. Honestly, you have to understand, my dad's a great singer. And sometimes you have to sing. You have to sing sometimes. So, something so special, something so special. I understand where you go. I understand where you are. I understand what you do. But you learn how to communicate with yourself in nature. You just make sure that you're living life, understanding how to sing. And I promise you, the more you sing, the more you sing, the more you can sing. You understand? So make sure you practice singing in your audio programs. You understand? Because that way you'll learn how to sing. So, for example, you can see the life I have. Sometimes when you sing, you become happier. You become happier when you live life. And when you live life, you just dream. You dream of yourself every single day. You do everything that you can. You make sure every single day you have what you need to succeed. You can say exactly what you need. And what you need is words. You just need words. And you just need to speak. And when you speak it all out, you shall have it in your possession. So just make sure that you speak. Speak as much as possible so that you're living your life, so that you live your dream. And that's all you have to do is believe in yourself and nothing else but dream. So every single day I'm understanding that there's more to say and more to sing. And when you sing, you live and breathe your passion and you understand your dream. You just understand your dream. You just understand your dream. You understand exactly that words will shape your life. And you have to unlock it in yourself. You have to understand to sing and believe in yourself every single day. And the more you sing, the more you shall breathe. And you will also better your habits as well as sing. But your words always make up for better. And you will always better your habits as well. So make sure you're singing and you're singing. And you're just singing your life every single day. Learning everything in the play of life. Learning how to sing in the process of life every single day. Making sure that you live in the nice and beautiful way. Learning every single day. Every single day you learn and you grow. And you understand how to sing. So make sure you sing and just sing and say that you can sing. I mean, every single day I'm understanding that you understand that it is. It is something that you do every single day. I'm understanding that you go and sing. Because you can sing if you want, you can really believe in your mentality every single day. You sing and you understand there is a better way forward, and there's a better way forward every single day. But you have to motivate yourself, guys. You have to motivate yourself to go and live your dream. You understand? You live your dream by speaking words, you understand? And the more you speak those words, the more you can do it. You understand? The more you speak those words, the more you'll motivate yourself to do it. And the more you'll find key skills that you need in your life, because your words can always find the magnificent ways of life. You understand? Your words are the way. You understand? You have to understand that's something true. And it's like a fairy tale, but it's really true. You understand? The thing is that your words, for example, in music production or whatever you're doing, I promise you, if you speak words while you do it, I promise you, you'll find a way. But you have to understand it's a slow journey, but it's really fast. You can do it. You can understand that you can DJ, you can do whatever you want, but you have to speak those words. You understand? I promise you, speak the words while you're doing it. You understand? And that's so important. That's why I'm such a great life coach, because I speak the words of that. You understand? And that's why I'm leading myself through everything with words, and nothing else is going to motivate me more than my words. And motivation comes easily when you speak those words. You know what I'm saying? When you speak those words from yourself, that's when the motivation comes. So understand much more about life. And each and every single audio program that I make, I'm always different. I'm always different, much more. I'm always much more wiser, because I have a higher frequency. And the more higher frequency I emit is something that comes from inside of me. You understand? So I better my life this way. So just understand to make as many audio programs singing. Just sing as much as possible. You know, and then teach people with that singing. Teach them how to live life. Teach them something about life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you need to do all the time anyway. So make sure that you always understand to live your life, and make sure you create poems. Make sure you create something for yourself. You understand? And that's how you live the dream. You understand? You live the dream now. You have to understand you can do it. You're just 29 years of age. You're just whatever age you are. You understand? You can do it. You understand? Motivate yourself every single day. I promise you, you'll get there. I promise you, you'll get there. You'll get there in the words. I promise you, in the words is where you go. I promise you, the words of life will teach you. You understand? But better your vocabulary every single day. Just push yourself every single day to talk as much as possible. And that way you'll find the true way. You'll find ways to grow. You'll find the best way forward. I promise you. I promise you, I can sit down in the room all day long and just speak in words. And that's the best way. You understand? That's the best way forward. And I'm uploading content as well.